Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you today. I want to thank the Theosophical Society for hosting me this evening. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. And also for John's wonderful introduction. I thank you so very much, John, for your wonderful introduction. And for all of you to be here and all of our viewers that are out in the world listening to this wonderful lecture. I want to, first of all, say that before we start any lecture, what we do is we want to create a sacred intention. As a Native American person, we believe that the Creator, the Great Spirit, provided us with wonderful insights about the energy world, the spirit world, and also this wonderful Mother Earth. So before we start, we always like to have a wonderful intention for our gatherings. And this started a long time ago. You know, when we first started in the desert, we're desert people. As a Mescalero Apache, we thrive in the desert. We love the desert. I'm here in Wheaton, and we have our place in Evanston, and it gets cold. And of course, we say, okay, Creator, this is where we're supposed to be, but we love the desert and we love the heat, because it's in our blood. We love that. So, but before we start our wonderful lecture, I would like to just make a prayer to the Creator, so that we can have all of our wonderful helpers with us today. We have our higher self, our wonderful guides. We call them the energetic resources. And the energetic resources is our higher self, our personal guides, our virtuous ancestors, and also all the wonderful beings who assist us in good and loving ways. As a Native person, we know that the energy world is next to us all the time. But when we're together in a group like this, the veil is lifted even more. And our wonderful helpers are here because they want to share this wonderful information about where they are, why they reach out to us, why they connect with us, why they help us. And I can only speak about the Apache tradition and what we know, but it's an honor to share it with you. So you'll notice I have my drum and I have my smudge, and it's symbolically just really a way of really centering ourselves. But we don't have to have these things to create a sacred intention. When we cross the desert, we always, our teachers said, succor unto the land, and the land succors unto you. And what that means is we would create an intention before we would go into the desert, so that the plants would tell us which ones were nutritional things to eat, where the water was, and all of the wonderful helpers that were in that region to assist us in our journey. And as we started progressing, we knew that a sacred intention was something that we launched our day with. Our sunrise, sunset ceremony, all of those things. So I'm going to ask you to go inward, and all of you have your wonderful questions, your insights about the Native perspective of the spirit world. I'd like you to go into the center of your heart, and just ask, what is it that you are really wanting to know about those wonderful things. So the guides that are in this beautiful room can help you with those questions. So I'm going to do a short intention out loud, so all of us can be together. Wankantanka Oshimala Ochetelo Ochetelo. Oh, wonderful Creator, thank you so very much for this beautiful day. Thank you for this sacred way of praying. Thank you for this wonderful journey we call life. Thank you for this great opportunity to be of service. Thank you for this wonderful day and this evening. We invoke for our higher self, all the wonderful beings who assist us in good and loving ways. We invoke for our wonderful holy medicine people, our wonderful ancestors, our teachers in spirit, our personal guides. We ask for you to be present, and we ask for you to share your beautiful wisdom and to allow for this wonderful lecture to be very nurturing, empowering, and very insightful for all. In full faith, so be it now. Ahom Atakwihasan. Ishte. So a sacred intention was taught to us. There's an old story, a very old story about the Creator, the Great Spirit. And the way the old story goes is the Great Spirit gave us this beautiful Mother Earth and decided to give the Nede people, Nede means earth people, that's the Apache people, decided to give the Nede people wonderful angels to mentor us, to guide us, to teach us. And these wonderful angels sat down and said, you know, there are these different ways of accessing the Creator. And we're going to give you some beautiful energy tools to help you to stay connected. They taught us about sacred breath. Sacred breath is being connected to everything in nature. The water, the trees, the air, the animals, all the kingdoms. They taught us sacred breath, sacred balance, but they also taught us energy tools. One of the energy tools that they taught us was ceremony. Now, we weren't the only ones in the world to be mentored by angels. All around the world, every culture was touched by these inner plane helpers that helped all the cultures to understand how to connect with the Great Spirit. For us, we learned ceremony. And ceremony was more about, vibration, sound, intention, all of those things. For me, the ceremonies were very, very important. I watched my elders as I was a very young girl to bring forth that beautiful energy through the drumming songs, the ceremonial songs, the intentions to bring these beautiful angels. I want to introduce you to the ceremonies. We say that wisdom sits in places. And there's an old story that when the Creator made Mother Earth, fell in love with Mother Earth, and decided to walk Mother Earth, and invited all the archangels and divine helpers to walk Mother Earth. And as that happened, they sat in different places and infused the area with a great amount of qualities of grace, which allowed for sacred places on the planet to occur. This place where I have my chanupa, that's my medicine pipe, and my medicine bag. This is a very special place. My mother, Mama Little Wolf, and Papa Little Wolf would take me. When I was very young, we would travel up to the mountains of Hanaki, and we would say prayer. And also, there was a wonderful medicine man up there. And he would say, when he passes, please still come. I will still hear your prayers. So I remember that. This is Mama Little Wolf. She's the one that taught me a lot of the ceremonies. She's a very wonderful teacher and has been my teacher since the time of birth. This is Mama Little Wolf and myself. And this is a very old, ancient medicine wheel that is very high above you have to climb up to a particular region. And this is, if you haven't noticed, this is Sedona. It's a very beautiful place, one of the most sacred places on the planet. There's a lot of native people up in the mountains that have done many ceremonies. And so the first thing they taught us to connect with the Great Spirit and all of our divine helpers were ceremony. The second thing was a beautiful energy tool called energetic narratives. energetic narratives were like prayers. They taught us to connect our wonderful heart and our mind. And we said, great, now what are energetic narratives? What are these mystical writings that you talk about? And the angels told us that when we express a desire in such a way to connect to the Great Spirit and the energy world through these narratives, this is called an invocation, to invoke for beautiful energy to cross the span of time and space into our ceremonies, and also when we're in nature. So when we did this, we were able to ask for things, get great insights and all of that nature. But we noticed that the Creator would create through spheres of light. And when you'll notice that this is on the island of Kauai, and this is Monique Liddell, she's doing yoga right here. And but on the plants, you'll see spheres of light. These are called building elements. These building elements are around plants, trees, things of that nature, and vivify the kingdom of the plant kingdom and the tree kingdom. The human kingdom is only one kingdom on this earth. It's said in our writings that all of the other kingdoms, which is the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the water kingdom, the crystal kingdom, the wind kingdom, my name is Billie Topa Tate, but my Apache name is Wazayata, wind that sings. Now, what that might mean to some people is that when I speak, healing things. Another person might say that I speak a lot. But that's okay. Either way, it's good. We have two words in the Apache tradition. Yate. Yate means that speaking just traditional, hello, how are you? Good to see you. But when we speak in ceremony or when we speak about the Great Spirit, there's a special word called nagodaye. Nagodaye means to speak in a sacred way, to interact with all the kingdoms in a universal language of peace and honor and respect. And so you'll see these spheres here, and we see them all the time when we're together. And my mother used to take me to this medicine man to make prayers. And when he passed over, we still go to see his place. And you'll see when I'm up at the place where he has his spirit, and you'll see all the beautiful spheres of light listening to my prayer. And so I went up to that place, I think that was 2 years ago. Every year we go. And it's quite it's a hike up there. And you'll see there's a lot of dirt on my skirt. But I leaned down and I wanted to speak my prayers. And someone took this photograph of all the beautiful spheres that were listening to my prayers. But that happens to everyone that is in that center of who they are. We notice that the Creator, the Great Spirit, creates in spheres of light all the time. And those spheres of light really tell us about how important it is to do ceremony in circles. We have the medicine wheel. We have the talking circles that we use in circles because we believe that when we mimic this wonderful intention that the Creator has to have harmony and peace and to give and receive and to have a symbolic representation of the solar logos in the circle, we want that. That's why our ceremonies are always in wonderful medicine circles. Our drums are in circles. But the Creator creates a lot of things with spheres. Planets are not square. They're circles. They're spheres. And even in feng shui, you'll see that there is harmony and peace represented by circles. And it's a very interesting thing that we know that these wonderful spheres of light carry the energy of the Creator with their divine helpers, inner plane helpers, spirit messengers. And when we start working to develop our insight and our wisdom, we start to realize that there is a universal language that all the kingdoms utilize. For example, I was 2 weeks ago in front of our office at the end of the day. I was putting equipment that we were donating into the car. I was a little bit of hurry because everywhere we were going to go was quite a distance away, and I didn't want to have them wait too long. So as I was putting these things in the car, was concerned about the time. But when I looked to the right, there was a beautiful coyote that was standing there watching me. And I looked at him and I said, "Brother, are you a spirit coyote or are you a real coyote?" And he just kind of gave me this look like, I'm pretty real, you know. And so I looked at him and I thought, you reminded me to remember to be in my spirit. And I heard this beautiful voice in my head that said, yes, it's important to be concerned, but ask for what you need. And I said, did you bring this beautiful coyote here to remind me to be in that place of peace and know everything's going to be okay? And they said, absolutely. So I put my hands up and I sent a blessing to the coyote. I said, I know it's hard, brother, to be a coyote in the city. I know it's really hard, but I thank you so very much for presenting yourself to me, to remind me that I am, just like you, a spirit walking this beautiful world. And when I said that, he just walked away. I put my things in the car and got everywhere on time. So, you know, sometimes the Creator gives us these beautiful gifts. We don't have to go so far to receive. So I talked about the sacred intentions and the energetic tools that they provided us. The angels that taught us, that mentored us, gave us many different ceremonies to do. They said sound, vibration, and intention opens the windows of time where all the worlds can connect with each other. And so we use sound, you know, in some of our ceremonies, we actually, besides the drumming that we do, and I'm going to do a drumming for you before you leave today, we use a whistle during parts of the ceremony. And what we're doing with that whistle is we're mimicking how they reach out to us. Have you ever heard your ear ringing when something very important, high pitch in your ear? We know that all of the spirit world vibrates at a very high rate. And when we get these wonderful indications that they want to send us a message, we hear this very high pitched tone in our ear. So when we do that in our ceremony, we're sending that message out to them that we want to talk. There's a very interesting ceremony that we do during the Mercury Retrograde. The first Mercury Retrograde, because the angels talk to us about the stars. And what they said was, when these planets are in certain positions, they're bringing an aspect of a event to your life to transform it. And so we look at the Mercury retrogrades as a way of transforming something we wanted to present to ourselves at that time. So we have a ceremony called the Start Over Ceremony. Right after the first Mercury retrograde, we do a medicine wheel ceremony. We do the drumming. We do the songs. And we do the whistle. We have the 4 directions that open the windows of time. And we say to the Creator, we say, okay, Creator, this is what happened to us. This is what we did. This is what we learned. And this is what we're going to do different. Is there anything else? And we continued to do the songs, and we get these beautiful downpourings of, yes, that's right. but you might have missed something. Let me give you this other piece of information. And so the start over ceremony is really a way of helping us to gain more insight. And as my teachers told me a long time ago, it is even more valuable to gain the wisdom from an event than the actual event. I always say that the event is just as important, but there's always these beautiful opportunities for gaining wisdom, which allows us to evolve. And that's the important thing. One of the principles that the angels said was that the Creator would like very much for anything that is past, present, and even future to be brought to its highest vibrational state. And that we are part of that through our journey. And also they are part of that. Their goal is to help us. And why do they help us? Because the Creator, the Great Spirit, would like us to not only experience this beautiful Mother Earth and all the kingdoms that are here, but also to evolve and to, according to our stories, the Great Spirit has brought us into this world and said that this is a learning place for you. You're learning how to move energy through you all the time. And different qualities of energy. And the goal of the Creator is for us to bring the light from where we were to here. And so we're learning how to do that. We're learning how to navigate energy through us. And we're learning how to administer it to ourselves and others. Others being plants, animals, people, our past, our present, our future, all of those things. So we are really, through our ceremonies and also through our what we call energetic narratives, connecting with the spirit world. One day, I was in meditation, and my wonderful teachers asked me to go to Bodh Gaya. Does anyone know where Bodh Gaya is? It is in India. And they said, one of your teachers is there, and you need to bring some things back. So I decided to go. I didn't know where I was going. But I knew I had faith in my guides. They talk to me all the time. They tell me, okay, this is probably a good idea to go make a right here or make a left here. So when I arrived in Bodh Gaya, I stood on the edge of this wonderful place where all these Rinpoches and the monks were. And I saw the energy coming into their crown chakras. And I thought, I've got to take a picture of this. So I decided that because these particular, you can't see it really well in this picture, but there are some of the beams of light that were coming from the crown up and down are white and red. And I asked my guides about that. I said, okay, so this Rinpoche here, he has this red beam. This beam of light extending upwards towards the sky. And I said, why is that one red and that one is white? And they said the red one is because this person and his family have developed their energetic connection to the Great Spirit as a family. The white one is a spiritual connection that was developed by the spiritual practice of that person. So the downpourings are the same, but developed in different ways. So it was a very wonderful, and now the picture is much more, we only have half the picture here, but there are a lot of other beams of light. In the spirit world, archangels and angels come in columns of light. This is how we see them. They extend themselves out to us, and you know that you're around them because the quality and energy that they emanate is tremendous. The wisdom that comes from their aura is tremendous. And all they have to do is say one or two words. When I was growing up, I had a friend who was always having some problems, and I was in ceremony, and I said, I have this friend, and she really needs help. She's really having some difficulties. And I put that out there in one of our ceremonies, and I got this beautiful, wonderful energy, a beautiful beam of light that said to me, what would you like to see? And I said, I would like to see her happy. I would like to see her safe. And I would like to see her in a wonderful place where she feels comfortable. And the beam of light, the wonderful teacher said, see her that way. See that medicine every time you do these things for her. So when I thought about this person, I heard that voice that says, see her in that medicine. See her in that way. And so that was our way of being taught that we can supply medicine with an intention and with that quality of high vibrational healing. We were taught ceremony, and spirit guides work with us energetically. How can we connect with them? Well, spirit guides vibrate at a high frequency. It becomes very important for us to really adjust our energy field through meditation practice, walking in nature, using beautiful intentions, practicing my teachers used to say at the end of a training, they would say, and may you follow the integrity of your wonderful light. And I remember that. And I remember, like my grandfather Charlot, he was really funny. One time I was going to his house and I was a teenager and I parked the car. I says, oh, grandfather, it was so hard to find parking. I had such a hard time finding parking. And he smiled and he said, well, sometimes the Creator gives us our challenges. What are you doing with those challenges? And I said, oops, I'm not supposed to be complaining, am I? I said to him, yes, you're right, grandfather. Parking is not, I can invoke for that. I know why I didn't. So the goal is we can use things like meditation, dream time. We call dream time dhyanane. Dhyanane means vision time. There's a beautiful story that the Creator gave us dream time for resolution time. The Creator said, when you go to sleep, I will give you the gift of dreams. Your physical body will go into maintenance and repair, but your consciousness does not require that. It will go into more subtle planes of existence, those more subtle planes of energy, the worlds that are out there. And you can resolve things. So the Creator gave us dream time for resolution, to resolve our past lives, to resolve our current stress points, and that is what we use it to this very day. When we go into our sleep time, we are taught that every day is a mini life. And at the end of the day, that the Creator said, if you resolve things that you feel that you did that was maybe could have done better, there will be no karma if you resolve it at the end of the day. And that means that maybe even in dream time, we resolve those things. But if you think about it, dream time is a way of going into different worlds. And when you're in dream time, you are actually in the energy world. You are in spirit world. And there are different neighborhoods in the spirit world, just like when you get in your car here on the earth, you can go into different neighborhoods. So the goal, of course, that these angels taught us as far as dream time was concerned is we go into, and I'm sure you know this, the book of life when we go into dream time. The book of life is all of our past lives, our future, our present is in the dream time. This is very much the energy world. And so we do what is called nagodaye, which is we use special, wonderful intentions before we go to sleep to go to those places with our wonderful helpers to resolve things. And you've heard people before say, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to think about it differently tomorrow. And also, if I'm upset about something, maybe tomorrow I'll look at it differently because I'm going to get some sleep. And even Einstein did not come up with the answer to the speed of light until he went to sleep. So there's a very powerful part of our consciousness that has answers to everything. And when I was 11 years old, I did my rites of passage, and my mother, Mama Little Wolf, gave me to my teachers. And at 11 years old, you just want to be just like any other 11-year-old and have fun. But I soon realized that my teachers were very special. They started teaching me meditation when I was 11 years old. And I really found it to be a very profound and wonderful thing. They taught me that there is a part of the consciousness that is a landscape or a platform of energy called mystical time. Mystical time is when you're connected to everything. You're connected to the water, the trees, the wind, the rain, and you become one with all these things in meditation. And then you can walk with your teachers in spirit and ask lots of questions. And it's a beautiful and profound thing to create that mystical time in your meditation practice. So this is something that I learned at the age of 11, and I'm, 67, something like that. So I've been meditating for a long time. And so the goal is meditation practice using your dream time for, and you can go on our website. There's a lot of free things on there that talk about how to access your dream time to connect with your guides, your divine helpers. Their goal is to help you. That's their goal. They have one wonderful purpose, and that is to be of service. And they have that beautiful energy. So we utilize the dream time really in a very wonderful way. Our physical body goes to sleep, but our energy, our consciousness can go anywhere. Just like, you have your beautiful consciousness here. And we know that your consciousness is not connected to your body, right? Because if I was saying something boring, your physical body could be here, but you could go to Disney World for an hour and come back, right? So you know that your consciousness is not connected to your physical body. It can go to the planet Mars. It can go to the moon. It can access the Great Hall of Wisdom. It can access your beautiful teachers, your wonderful angels. All of those things are entirely possible and doable. And it's very important for you to know that your intention is a very wonderful energetic tool that we all have. So our intention before we go to sleep is to connect with our wonderful helpers, our divine helpers, our teachers in spirit. You all have them. We are not unusual. We just have been taught from the time of birth that our connection with the Creator was very important, and also that we keep it with us every day. It's very important to us. All the kingdoms are here to help us. There's a very beautiful story that the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the water kingdom, the air kingdom, all had counsel and said, the Creator wants us to be here on the earth to help our brother, the humans. We're the only ones that have not achieved our great purpose. All the other kingdoms, in accordance to our stories, have already achieved their great purpose. They are here to inspire us. And if you think about it, animals are so wonderful. We do so many things to them, and yet they have such unconditional love for us. And a flower can inspire us. And if you think about it, people receive flowers, when they're not feeling good or if they've had a sense of accomplishment, and the flower inspires them, congratulates them, and we connect with that great purpose that they have. So they are all here to really help us. And they all talk a universal language of service. They're all here for that. So, dreamtime meditation, walking in nature, and giving back to nature is very important. But individual and group ceremony, you'll notice that we have our drums. And this was a women's ceremony. We were teaching them how a drum protocol. And what we do is when we're in the mountains, we raise our drums up to the Creator. We ask the Creator to empower our drums so that when we sing, that we bring medicine into the world from that place of light. And so the place of light is where, there's different neighborhoods in the spirit world. There's the place of light. There is the place of wisdom. There are places where the angels are developing vibrational states of healing from color, vibration, qualities. All of those things are in the energy world. And we know through our stories that the Creator gave us this wonderful consciousness for lots of reasons. One of the reasons is to have this consciousness to connect with all of those worlds through our mind, through our consciousness. And we do have access to all of these things by our intention, but we can also have these connections to limitations, and frustrations and all of those other worlds, those other realms. Our goal is to really learn to remember that we have this wonderful, great purpose on this wonderful Mother Earth. And that we are all what we call Toyoshpaye. Toyoshpaye means we are extended family. We are relatives. All of us are. When we do the ceremony called the Inipi ceremony, and we're sitting in this the Inipi is like this hut, and in the center is this pit where we bring stones from the river that are heated in the fire, and we bring them into the ceremony, and then we put sage and cedar, and we welcome these relatives. They're the oldest relatives on the planet. They know so much about everything because they've seen so much. They've been here longer than us. And so when we welcome them into the ceremony, we say hello, and through our ceremonies, they share with us things, wonderful things, beautiful things. And so we become more awake through the process of connecting with all these kingdoms, honoring them, respecting them, and speaking the universal language of the Creator. This is the picture, and you'll see there are more beams of energy that is coming from the person up towards higher frequencies of knowledge and energy, what we call, you probably call Shakti energy. Energy is significant. And the red ones are, as I said before, and when I took the picture, he turned around and he looked at me like, "You're taking a picture of me, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And there was a beautiful Rinpoche there under they call it the Bodhi Tree, where the Buddha sat in meditation. One of I think they planted a small part of it there. And so you'll see that there's a building of energy at the top of the head that brings this beautiful energy into the crown center and allows for great insight and guidance for the other monks that were under the direction of different Rinpoches. This is my chanupa. This is my ceremonial pipe, and that's my medicine bag at the sacred place of Hanaki. This is Mama Little Wolf and I walking. We're guiding people to another place up in a region where we would get wonderful sacred water that we would bring down from the mountains. So, having said that, I mean, I can talk forever, but the goal is, Wazayata, when that sinks. But I do want to have opportunities for your questions about the spirit world.
Thank you for this wonderful teaching and lecture. You showed us pictures of your visit to Bodh Gaya, and also in the picture of the drum ceremony, I noticed there was a Buddha statue in the center, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what connection maybe the spiritual practice you've been describing and Buddhism might be.
Thank you so very much. That's a wonderful question. We know that the Creator didn't just give us information. And the angels that really helped us, mentored us about energetic tools and ceremony and all of those other wonderful things. But we know that there are other wonderful teachers and masters who have walked this earth, and they vibrate at a wonderful rate to assist other people to, wherever we are in our understanding of spirit and of evolution and of peace and all of the qualities. These teachers have been on the earth helping all of these people in that way. So it doesn't have to be the Native American aspect.
Thank you so much for coming today. I'm not really sure how to word this question actually, but you talked about purpose, and I work in the animal industry and fields, and so I'm very connected on that level, and I can see what you mean, and I've heard this through other religions and aspects and things too about their purpose, and it's kind of clearly defined with so much of our Mother Nature, and we're not. So would you care to expand on that a little bit more?
Yes, definitely. All of the kingdoms are really here to support and help us, and they just give us so much wonderful energy and everything. However, I will say this, that they are also guided by the angels to help us, to give us insight, just like the coyote came at the right time, to help me to remember I can ask for help. I don't have to get into that intense energy. And trees also have their language. When you get to the point in your meditation, you can hear them. They speak very clearly. I'll give you an example. Well, I'll give you a little bit of homework. You could try this. Tree medicine is very important for us. The sap is their wonderful resin is healing energy, and I remember after I was teaching a class last Sunday, I went by the water to say prayers and say thank you. And then I was walking by this tree that I always say hello to and everything. And the tree said, okay, the wind came, because that's my name, Topa Tate. And the tree said, Topa Tate, Wazayate, wind that sings. And I looked at the tree and I said, you know my name. And so they all have this beautiful energy, that they can share with you. And I stepped in front of the tree and I said, what's your name? And the tree said, my name is Peter the One. And I looked around and I thought, well, there's no other trees around. And I said, you are the only one here. And I said, why are there, usually trees are, have lots of family. And he showed me an image, that all the trees were cut down around him. And I heard one of the trees that was being cut down to say, don't cut me down. I have so much more to give you. But nobody heard that because they can't hear the trees. And I looked at Peter and I said, I'm so sorry about your family. I know you miss them. And I said, I thank you so very much for speaking to me. So there is this connection that we don't have because we don't realize it's there. So part of your homework is to find a tree that's close to you. Ask permission to step into that tree's energy field. Step into the energy field and ask the tree, what's your name? And see what happens. And that would be my homework to you, to see that there is this beautiful other world that is out there for you. They do help us. If it wasn't for the trees, the plants, we would die. We would be in big trouble. We'd be in big trouble. They help us. They heal us. They guide us. All of those things is really wonderful. I hope that answered your question.
When I use my crystals, and I always try to do the intentions with the crystals, but I always seem to be lost. I'm not quite sure what I should be doing when I'm doing that. And so I was wondering if you maybe can give us a couple examples of intentions when we're trying to reach our spiritual guide, or when we're trying to put that out into the universe.
It's a wonderful question. This is the way we were taught. The way we were taught is energetic narratives. The angels said, speak nagodaye, speak in a sacred way. So when you hold your crystal, you say, by the power of my good merits, I invoke for your beautiful, your wonderful energy and your wonderful energy to provide healing for myself and others. You see, one of the most important reasons why angels cross the span of time and space to help us is to provide qualities of healing, wisdom, insight for us, because that's what the Creator wants. The Crystal Kingdom is a very powerful kingdom. They've been around for a long time, and they are constant conduits of energy, and they are liquid spirit. So they really can enhance your hand chakra. They can help to do a lot of things. So just by you acknowledging and asking, is there something that I can do to help you and I connect in a better way, in a good, profound way? And doing meditation with the crystal is a really good thing. They'll speak to you. I hope that helps you.
Thank you again. I just wondered, those of us that have not had the same background as you, is there certain ways to engage these different kingdoms? Is it by invitation? Is it intention, meditation,
that's such a great
or what?
question. Okay, so remember I said that I was, at 11 years old, I was handed over to my teachers, and they were wonderful. And now they're in the spirit world, and they're even more wonderful because I can talk to them all the time now. So I decided that I was going to talk about these energetic narratives, the way of developing a connection through our intentions. So there are things in my book. I just finished this book. And it talks about, the start over ceremony. It talks about, nagodeye, the way of asking for, a connection for great insights and resolution. So and this is one of 3, because I'm working on the next one and the next one, to really kind of help people to get that connection. You see, when I was being taught by my teachers, I was very young, but I knew that it wasn't just for me. It was that I was supposed to go out there and to help others connect in such a good way. So, I would suggest that maybe you look at the book, and also just your wonderful want and desire. You have wonderful guides that help you. So the thing about asking is you must go into what is called sacred breath. And sacred breath means that you adjust your energy field through your breath and connect with some aspect of nature. The easy one is to really think about water, the ebb and flow of the water. Allow for your breath to connect with that, and then express a desire to be connected with your higher self and your guides. And then ask a question. When you ask a question, come back to the breath, because that breath is going to adjust your aura so that you can hear very clearly, that wonderful connection. And succor unto them and they succor unto you. In other words, when I get up in the morning, I say, I am so happy. All my guides are with me. I give you permission to help me, to guide me. And I told them, I told them this morning when I was doing my morning ceremony, it's going to snow. What's going to happen? And they said, don't worry about the snow. Just invoke for a beautiful evening. Invoke that all things will be well, and that everyone that comes enjoys and receives what they're going to be receiving in a good way. And so I said, okay, I'll invoke for that. That sounds good to me. And so, so there's always this connection with the breath and the intention. So that's what I could tell you. I know that I've been raised in the Native American way, and I understand that. I've been very fortunate in that way. But I'm really here to help others to get that connection too, because we need to connect so that we create a sacred place within all people. That's really important. My teachers used to say that everything is about relationship. A relationship with our trees, our animal kingdom, our plant kingdom, with other people. However, the most important one is the relationship we have with ourselves. And so that is always a part of the journey. So succor unto them and they succor unto you. So I hope that helps.
I think my question is, are there spirits that are more attached to you? Like, for example, are there tree spirits that are more attracted to certain type of people, or certain animal spirits that are more attached to certain type of people, or are they all just trying to help you?
That's a good question, a very wonderful question. The question was, are there different kingdoms that are attracted to you, more than others? Depends on your journey. It also depends on all the lifetimes you picked to work on in this lifetime. We know that there's this big tank of all the lifetimes. We've had billions of lifetimes. And I always say, if we've had all these lifetimes, why have we have evolved enough, But, then I let go of that because I know there's a reason for it. But I know that we, as Native people, we were taught that we pick anywhere between 3 to 5 lifetimes to work on in one lifetime. And we pick those lifetimes, and when we're on the platform of reincarnation, we have these very strong thoughts that we want to heal this, or we want to know this, and we want to aspire to be this for lots of reasons. And then when we take this lifetime, we are assigned divine helpers. We're assigned, we have family. We have family on the other side that's been trained to help us. And also we have teachers in spirit that have been with us many, many lifetimes. So it really depends on what we have chosen to transform and what we aspire to be. And when we're doing our morning, ceremony, our sunrise ceremony, we ask, give us some help, give us some support, and they give it to us because we ask for it. You have to ask. If you don't ask for it, you're kind of like climbing the mountain with one hand tied behind your back, So you want to ask and you want to receive, because these energetic resources are there for you. I hope that answers your question.
Isn't it true that things that we are drawn to are those things that are there to guide us? for instance, I'm drawn to crystals. So those crystals are the kingdom that I'm focusing on because that's where my passion is. And I think that when we have a passion for something, whether it be an animal or a tree or a crystal or even another person, then I think for me, then it's telling me that this is where my focus is. This is where I need to focus all my energy in order to get that spirituality that I'm seeking, in order to help me with whatever it is that I'm seeking. Would you agree with that?
Well, okay, so, we know that vibration, light, sound, higher qualities of emotions are all energetic tools for us. And the crystal kingdom is a very important kingdom. It is a conduit of energy. It's very powerful. And you have expressed a desire to want to learn more about it, to utilize it as a great healing tool and to teach others. So you're on your journey for that. Also, you might have decided to do other things besides that. So you want to connect with it and you want to ask for your guides to assist you in that way. But do know that there might be some other things that, that are, a part of your journey. So,
What does Mescaleto Apache mean?
Mescaleto is a name that has to do with the desert and the earth. So, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Thank you, John. I'm going to do this closing song. As I said before, when we speak in a sacred way, the energy world is close to us all the time, but when we do this, the veil is lifted even more. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to close your eyes. I'd like you to go inward and go into that sacred place. Ask for what you need, relatives, because it's very important for you to ask. I'm going to sing a song about the Red Road. It's a good song. And it was sung by David Swallow. He's a wonderful elder on the Pine Ridge Reservation. So I'd like you, relatives, to take a wonderful deep breath in through your nose and take it all the way down into your lungs, the house of sacred breath. And then exhale through your mouth, just releasing and relaxing. And again, breathing in through your nose. Breathe in the breath of life, relatives. Breathe in. And then exhale. Just release any tension in your body. The last breath is to bring in that spirit breath. Bring it into your lungs, relatives. And just allow for that to be your beautiful breath. As you release the breath, just relax the breath. Relaxing the breath relaxes the mind. Relaxing the mind relaxes the breath. And I would like very much for you to make a prayer for yourself and make a prayer for your family. Ask for what you need because you have all these wonderful, wonderful energetic helpers who are more than wanting to help you. Open your heart and your mind and just ask for what you need. O chankalukta onoma o yelo yo tokashilaya ilamaya yelo hai chanupakile hayo chewaki yelo tokashilaya ilamaya yelo hai way ya he hayo way ya he hayo way ya o willow hai o chankalukta onamo o yelo yo tokashilaya ilamaya yelo hai chanupakile hayo chewaki yelo Tokashilaya, Tokashilaya, Bila Maya Yellow Hai. Way ya hey hayo, way ya hey hayo, way ya o willow hai. O chankalukta o namo o yellow yo, Tokashilaya, Bila Maya Yellow Hai. Chanupaki lei hayo, che wakielo, Tokashilaya, Tokashilaya,